Austin Rivers, NBC Sports analyst, and tune into the NBA playoffs at NBC Peacock, NBC Sports Network throughout the postseason, including exclusive coverage of the Western Conference Finals. Where do you want to start?
Where do I want to start?
Yeah. What, like you want to start with Atlanta against the Knicks? The 76ers still alive. The Nuggets no showing.
Well, yeah, we could start with I think the most interesting series I think right now would be Boston, Philly, or Detroit, perhaps Orlando. Especially me being an Orlando kid. I have to call the games and be biased, but there's a part of me that's cheering the team very hard. I'd be lying.
Have you ever been involved in a game like the Atlanta Hawks played last night?
Yes. Not that bad.
No, nobody's been that bad.
Yeah, not in a playoff game. In a regular season game, yes. I remember playing the Kevin Durant Westbrook Thunder. That's when they had Harden and all those guys. And unfortunately, I was playing for the New Orleans Hornets at the time, which is no fun ever. We lost by like 48. And I remember thinking, this is the most humiliating thing. But then I watched last night's game and I felt much better because that happened in a playoff game, which is just egregious.
What's the locker room like when you lose by 48?
There's nothing really to say. I don't know what, Quinn Snyder says at that halftime, because they were down 50 at halftime, 40 at halftime. So, at that point, the game's out of reach. You're not going to have a 40-point deficit be wiped away. So you've lost, the season's over, but you still have 2 quarters left. It's a very awkward situation to be in. Like down 20, there's hope. Like you can erase it, 20-point quarter, you know what I mean, in a quarter, but 40 it's just not happening. Yeah, it's just there's nothing to say. I would love to be a fly on the wall in that locker room, and it has nothing to do with Quinn. I love how people always make the loss about the coach, but he's not out there shooting and playing, and he can't force guys to play a certain way. So it's like I don't know what you say.
How did Boston get into this position?
They rely heavily on tough shot making, and to have a steady diet of that all the time is very difficult. They take a lot of threes. They shoot more threes than just about anybody. They take a lot of jump shots. Their 2 best players, honestly, their top 3 scorers on the team, if you're putting Pritchard, are all ISO players. And when they tap into that, it can get dangerous. I think the Boston's at their best when the ball is popping and that thing is swinging around. And when Tatum has 22 and Brown has 25, instead of Tatum has 30 and Brown tries to have 30, and then the rest of the team tries to figure out what they can muster because they don't have a rhythm. When they're all hooping, that's when they're dangerous. And then late game, you can tap into that ISO because by that time your team has a rhythm and a feel, and your best players feel good, and everyone's feeling good. But when you're just playing this style throughout a game, it's tough. And then also, they don't have anybody to guard JoJo. There's just, Joel Embiid has come out of nowhere and is looking like a shimmer of his healthy self. And they don't have anybody to deal with him. And this is a problem. I mean, this isn't like something where Philly's just played well and Boston's just going to go get it done in 7. They have legitimately no one to guard Philly's best player. And that's going to be an issue for game 7, unless they just make shots. I mean, they got to make a lot of them. Otherwise Philly can win this.
I'd love to give credit to Minnesota, but we usually don't do that in a situation like that. We got to blame the team that lost. But I have credited what Minnesota did. They don't have their top 3 guards. I thought that they stood up to Denver, Joker, Murray. But that's an embarrassment for the Nuggets. Like bowing out like this in a game that you're favored to win, you're supposed to win. They don't have their guards. And then show.
Yeah.
I wonder what the future is. And I know it's overreaction. But Joker's got to be looking at this going, I got one more year and then a player option. Is he any closer to a title than Giannis has been in Milwaukee?
Yes. The only reason I say that is because they have much more in terms of trade assets. Like you have Aaron Gordon, you have Jamal Murray, you have Christian Braun, you have Peyton Watson, you have a handful of guys that have, trade value. Whereas you look at Milwaukee, they're going that team is not going to be winning anything anytime soon. So, you know, if you have Aaron Gordon and Peyton Watson healthy, it's a different team. Now, to your argument or to your point, well, it's like, well, they just lost to a team that didn't have, their three best players.
Yeah.
Yes, I think Denver should have won this series after Anthony Edwards goes down. You're supposed to win this. The problem is they're already in a hole 3-1. And then they're looking at this like, guys, we only have to win one game. We don't have to replay this team out of 7 times. It's like you watching March Madness. Anybody can beat anybody in one game, especially if we're talking about pros. So you get a big game from Jaden McDaniels and Julius Randle, and then some other guys, Terrence Shannon, some of these other dudes come in and give you something, then you can beat them, especially a team that has zero interior defense. And for whatever reason, this is the best we've ever seen Rudy Gobert guard Nikola. And again, Nikola's bad numbers are my and everybody else's good numbers. So let me just put that out there. He's one of the greatest centers of all time. But this is and I hate saying the worst I've ever seen him play because he still put up good numbers. But this is the most challenged I've ever seen Nikola play. I'm just so used to him having his way with everyone, including Rudy. I've seen him have his way. I've been on the team with Rudy and seen him have his way. I've been on the other team and seen Nikola. I've played with Nikola. I've never seen Rudy have an effect on him like this series. So it starts with Rudy. I got to give him credit.
Yeah.
But yeah, it is disappointing. I thought Denver was going to come back, and I thought they were the team best fit to be able to compete in the West with some of these other teams left.
Talking to Austin Rivers, NBC Sports. Wait, who's on the phone? Oh,
I think a special someone. I think Austin's dad just checked in.
Oh, okay. Doc Rivers joining us. Hey, Doc.
How's it going, son? I'm just so proud of you. I just wanted to let you know, playing at Duke, 10th overall pick by the Hornets in the 2012 draft, 11-year NBA career. The Clippers, you played for me, father and son. How wonderful is that you could play for your dad and I could coach my son? And now NBC and Peacock. I just wanted to call and say I'm just so proud of you,
son.
Well,
thank you, Doc. I appreciate that.
That was a pretty damn good impression. That you had me in the first half too.
Really?
You and Jamie Foxx stand alone, my friend.
Have you heard Fritzy does Kevin Harlan? How about that, Todd?
The Nuggets are on a 9-4 run here in the third quarter, and Phoenix wants to talk about it. This is the NBA on TNT.
That's pretty good. And I've never heard anybody imitate Kevin Harlan, so you definitely got that one in the bag. That's pretty solid.
So you got the Lakers are underdogs against the Rockets. Now, I don't know what KD's status is, but this gets really dangerous if Houston wins like they're supposed to. Reeves is back but didn't play well. So what do you expect to happen in this series, the rest of it?
I think the Lakers can finish it out. Again, they got, one game to win?
Yeah.
And it's there. Obviously, they're without Luka, their best player, but on Houston's side, they're confident right now. I don't think the Kevin Durant thing is an issue as long as he doesn't play. And I know it sounds crazy, but they're winning without him. It seemed like when he plays, they're so reliant on his offensive greatness that guys just sit around and they don't play like themselves, especially Thompson, who's a non-shooting guard. So to play with a guy who's heavy ISO, it's really hard for him to help space the floor. He's just kind of stuck out there in the mud. Some of these other dudes feel like they're more unlocked and more free, I think, playing without Kevin. Remember, this team was one of the most promising up-and-coming young teams in the NBA. They go get Kevin, and then they've kind of been in this murky water, similar to what Phoenix was in, similar to what Brooklyn was in. You know what I mean? So it's tough. Kevin's so good. Sometimes you just rely on him to beat teams with his ISO, but that's not going to win in the playoffs consistently, especially at his age now. We're not talking about prime Kevin Durant. So I think without Kevin, they're a better team for now. just because of where that seemed to be when he played. It didn't seem like it was. I don't know. I'm not going to sit here and say they have problems in the locker room and stuff. I'm not over there. I don't like to speculate. I care about what I see in front of me on the court, black and white. Their playing style's different when he plays. So unless he's going to come back and the ball's going to move again and pop, and then he's going to pick his spots to have ISO and pick his points to where he wants to do that and play a little bit more without the ball in his hands, then I would say, great, come on, come back. You know what I mean? Because he's Kevin Durant. But it seems like when he plays, his offensive ability sometimes hinders him just because of how good he is. I know it sounds crazy, but that's what we've seen. And then he plays one game, doesn't play another game, plays one game. It's really hard for a team to go into the game not knowing what's happening. You know what I mean? Like, what's our identity tonight? Is Kevin playing or not? Because he's not just some role player. So it's tough. But I have the Lakers finishing it out.
Have the Magic figured out the Pistons?
I think the Magic are a better team. I really do. I think Detroit has hung their hat on playing hard and physical all year, and that can get you a lot of wins in the regular season. Effort steals wins in the regular season. The problem with that being your hard hat, or being something you hang your hat on, rather, is in the playoffs, everyone plays hard. Everyone gives their best effort. When everyone's diving on the floor and going all out 100. So now it has to be more than effort. You know what I mean? You have to be somebody that can really put the ball in the basket and make plays. They only have a few of those guys that can do that. You know what I mean? So Cade is the best player in the series. He's the best player between the two teams. Everyone knows that. But who's Cade's second best player? You'd say Jalen Duren. Okay, well, Jalen Duren's not a great offensive player. He's more of a defensive player, does things on both sides of the floor. Who's your third guy? Tobias Harris. After that, who are you reaching for?
Yeah.
There are a lot of guys who do things well. Jenkins is a good, hardworking player, two-way guy converted. Duncan Robinson, very good three-point shooter, but you have to create sets for him and get him his own shot. He can't create his own shot. You go to the Magic and run that list. You got Paulo Banchero. He actually has a Robin to his Batman. He gets Franz Wagner. All right. Then they have Desmond Bane, 20-point per game scorer. Then you have Anthony Black, another guy who can create his own offense. So, you see what I'm saying? When you talk about depth and playmaking ability and shot making ability, I think Orlando has the edge. I think this is a bad matchup. Orlando's not supposed to be an 8 seed. This is a team preseason people had being a 2, 3, 4 seed in the East. And due to injuries and them just not playing well because they're a very hot and cold team, they've had an underwhelming season. So now they find themselves as an 8 seed playing the 1 seed, and everyone's like shocked, but like Orlando's really good. You know what I mean? So we'll see. Tonight's going to be a bloodbath.
I'll leave you with this. Draymond Green on his podcast had this to say about his head coach, Steve Kerr.
Oh, man, I knew this was coming.
As much as he's done for me in basketball, a part of me think he's hindered me in my career and what I could have become. When KD came from 2016 on, I have not had a play in our playbook. Not a single play that we run for me in our playbook. This is 2016. But if you're going to take one gripe and not be able to move past it for all the other things, then you're shallow as a person. That says more about you as a person than it does about Steve or whoever else in that instant. You got to take the good with the bad, man.
Can he be right in both cases that he wasn't featured at all? But, I mean, how do you feature Draymond Green?
Feature him doing what?
I don't know.
Feature him doing what?
I'm trying to be fair to the context of this.
It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. It's utter ridiculous. And you know what's shocking? Because Draymond has such a he has such a high IQ. That's a big part of his game, is how smart of a basketball player he is. So it bewilders me that he even thinks like this, because it's like, Draymond, them taking a chance on you and them playing you and Steve putting you at the forefront of that offense, making you be the point forward and kind of the, letting allow you to have that voice and the freedom to have your, whether it's spasms or when he loses it, or to be the emotional leader of that team. Steve let him be who he was. So to hear he was hindered, especially Draymond's never been an offensive scorer juggernaut. He's left open 80% of the game. No one guards him. And because he's such a high IQ player, he's been able to take that and be a free screener for Steph, Clay. He's been this enforcer. He does all these things defensively to dominate. I don't know what way he was hindered and why they would ever draw up plays for you to score. You were never a scorer. In fact, the teams would have loved it. If you were shooting, it'd be much better than Steph not, or Clay or Kevin not. It's just ludicrous. I don't even know where he got this from. If Draymond was on another team in the NBA, I don't know what his career would have looked like.
He wouldn't be a Hall of Famer.
No. And that's not a slight to Draymond because he is in the Hall of Fame. So it's like, take the fact that the guy that helped you get there is the guy you're saying hindered you. I don't understand I don't get it. Dre, and I love Dre. I love his competitive. I love everything about Dre. We got drafted in the same class. He's too smart of a basketball player to genuinely think this. There's no way. He's just too good and too smart of a basketball player.
All I know is Robert Horry was with us a couple of weeks ago. He said that he never had a play run for him. Now, that's one of the great clutch shooters in NBA history. And he said when he was with the Rockets, they never ran a play for him. He would have a legitimate gripe over Draymond.
Because he's offensively more forward. Draymond was a facilitator and a guy that just affects the game in ways, half of which don't even show up on the stat sheet. Robert Horry was a guy who affects the game by putting the ball in the basket.
Yeah.
And hit big shots. So he has a legitimate, like you said, argument to be like, man, can I get a play call for me? Can I get like a pick and pop? Can I get some type of play, quick action, where I can get a 3 off? Draymond is a guy that you would never draw up a play to get a post up because he's not a post up player. He doesn't have post skills to score. And he's not a player you would draw up a play to hit a 3 or get a shot because he's never been a high shooting percentage 3-point shooter or scorer. So I'm confused on what he wants drawn up for him. Maybe he wants a play drawn up for him to make a play because he can do that. He's one of the best point forwards of all time. But I don't know what he meant by that. It just seems so weird because Steve and him, I feel like Steve's really embraced Dre, the whole experience of Draymond, and let him be him and be, even though he's never been the first option. Think about this. The second option, the third option, the fourth option. When you talk about the leader of the team, he's been the number one option. To allow that and let that be and fester and grow, you have to give Steve credit for that. And it's worked. They got 4 rings out of it. So it's just weird. I don't know. That was a weird comment to hear because Draymond's such a high IQ person.
What's it like to get switched out to Steph Curry?
It's not fun. I'll be honest. On an island, I'm okay. It's like, if he drives by me and hits a layup, then I've done my job. When you get switched out to him, because I did most of the guarding on him. I predominantly guarded Steph in playoff series. He's more dangerous without the ball. I hate chasing him. Draymond sets illegal screens. Pachulia, Iguodala, Livingston, Festus Ezeli. These guys set illegal hard-ass screens, and that's what was so hard to guard him. When you were guarding him on the ball as a guard, I was okay with that. And if he hit me with something, a cool move, or tap him on the back and do it again. That's kind of the mindset you have to have the do it again mindset guarding stuff. You can't get otherwise your spirit will dwindle. Yeah.
Great appearance. Thanks for joining us, Austin. We appreciate it.
Good job, my son. I'm so proud of you.
Anytime.
I'm so proud of you. You're having a great broadcast career.
Thanks, Dad.
Very nice of you to come on with Dan. Keep up the good work. You got to give me 48, though. You got to give me 48.
Thank you. Thank you, Doc.
Appreciate you.
Thank you, Austin. NBC Sports analyst, 10th overall pick back in 2012 for the Hornets. The exclusive coverage of the Western Conference Finals on NBC, Peacock, NBC Sports Network.